Unlock the power of AI in marketing with our new series, AI Agent. Dive into the world of SaaS tools, discover how marketing pros deploy bots, and explore the best use cases for AI in your marketing strategy. Only on Marketing in the Age of AI podcast with Emmanuel Rose.
Welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI. I am Emmanuel Rose, and today I'm joined by Mendel Cohen, the CEO and founder of Crafted Digital based in Miami. Mendel has extensive expertise in leveraging AI and innovative marketing techniques to deliver measurable business results. Today, we'll discuss how AI is reshaping marketing, practical strategies for automation and agents, and what's next for agentic AI in B2B digital marketing. Mendel, thank you so much for joining me on the show today. Yeah, it's great.
Of course, happy to be here.
I'm glad. I appreciate. Thanks for your time, and thanks for sharing some stories with me. So we'll just jump right in and say, what's the favorite automation that you have right now that you're deploying for either for your agency or for clients?
There's a lot of them. I think one of them that's really cool. There's like this big thing around personalization. It's become like a huge thing right now within outbound marketing because the spam filters have become very good at detecting what's a marketing message.
Yep.
So to combat that, there's these agents where you can, based on the data that you have, you can actually look into the person, look into their LinkedIn, look into their website, look into their news articles or whatever it may be, find unique things about them, and the AI connected to some APIs that it has with maybe OpenAI or whatever large language model that you want to connect it with, can actually give custom emails to the person based on their LinkedIn activity, a recent conference that they went to. That's some pretty cool stuff, and it's really a great way to get around the spam filters, because that's catching a lot of messaging, it's catching a lot of the current outbound marketing that's going on. That I would say is my favorite one, and I think it's the most used one right now within our company.
I got you. And then is that a something that you guys set up, or is that a third-party service that you found?
Well, we set it up with no-code platform. So there's like a lot of no-code AI agent platform where you can pretty much build your own.
Yeah. Which one are you using? What do you like the best right now?
Clay is great. I think Clay is the best one that I've seen.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot I haven't tried yet. We're testing some new ones. But from what I've seen, Clay has been exceptional. It has a lot of, they just raised on a lot of money on a $1 billion evaluation, and they're a fairly new company.
Yeah.
So they're kind of, they're doing a lot in this space.
Yeah. Another one that we use is we like make.com. I think that's
Make is great. We use that for some stuff as well, not specifically for this.
Yeah.
The workflows and the tables that you can make with Clay and the integrations that they have are a bit more sophisticated, but there's a lot of other cool stuff that you can do with make.com.
Yeah. And then N8N, of course, a lot of people are using that also. And then Crew AI is another one that's interesting. I don't know if you've checked that one out.
There's a lot of them that are coming up, and they're very easy to use. It used to be that in order to make these AI agents, you had to be a Python developer and make them,
Right.
you had to open a bunch of files and write a bunch of code. And now it's a lot of that stuff is you don't need to do it anymore. It's non-existent. You can, with very, very basic knowledge of how it works, you can program an AI agent to do so many awesome things, and it's only going to get easier.
For sure. Well, that's cool. So yeah, the outbound email is cool. There's a really great product that's called CallSign that has a direct integration with LinkedIn. So it's an actual API into LinkedIn. So you don't have to scrape it, but you actually have real data, and it's not violating the user terms of service. So that's an interesting one too, that is very similar to what you're describing.
You have with Clay also, you have this LinkedIn integration actually, and there's a really cool thing about it where you can basically take a bunch of LinkedIn profiles and you can send voice message voice messages via outreach one by one.
Oh,
Now,
that's
there's
cool.
a way to do it where you can have like a template voice message. Let's say you're pitching, I don't know, some SaaS product to people in, the real estate industry or whatever it may be. You can have a template where you speak about your product, you say your elevator pitch, and you can AI your voice to automate the person's first name.
Right.
So it sounds like you're, and like right now we're in the very early stages of these, methods and techniques. So like it's really hard to catch on, especially like when there's only one word in the whole voice message that's done by the AI. It kind of blends in really well. Uh,
Interesting.
but that's another cool use case as well. That's been pretty successful because it's personable. It's not like
Sure.
a message. Everybody gets a bunch of, and I'm sure you get them. You probably get like 10,000 cold LinkedIn messages a day offering someone offering a small service or something.
Yeah.
But how often do you get a voice message that someone's saying your name? Not often.
Sure. Yeah.
There are other
Oh, that's
cool
for
ways.
sure. So I like that outbound automation is a critical part for sure for getting the top of the funnel filled. What about what are you doing inside the agency to automate activities? Anything that's interesting there?
Yeah, well, we're creating a lot of our own GPTs and
Yeah.
a lot of strategy GPTs in a lot of ways, copywriting and workflow building, and we're doing it based on the systems that we have and that we've always done. So we're putting together we're giving the GPT a lot of the work that we've done in the past, a lot of projects. We're explaining it, our process, our thought process, how we do things, how we structure things, how we structure funnels. And overall, over time, we're continuously training it. And this is pretty much, I've heard this saying where these GPTs are like an army of 17-year-old interns
Right.
that are able to do a lot of these kind of tedious tasks. Some of them not so tedious. Some of them that actually need reason and strategy behind it, but they're able to do it pretty well with the right instructions. And that's the key point there: the right instructions, the right knowledge, the right data behind it. There's a lot in terms of the strategy side and the content side, especially, that it can do and that it can do really well.
Yeah, I agree. I think what I'm seeing is this progression where we're able to get real value, say, out of a brand book. We're really getting really good value out of doing the ICP work, ideal client profile work, and then as content has been approved or is getting approved, and we have this custom GPT that's a brand GPT, and it speeds up the process of content development. Got keywords and all those things, right?
If done right, I mean, these models are trained to analyze patterns,
Yep.
and if it's not trained in a specific way, it's going to be very general. That's why there's such thing as AI text detectors that can detect AI text, with 99% accuracy, because the way they're trained, the way all these large language models are trained, it's in a very specific way with very specific language, and there's a very consistent formatting of sentences that they use, and
Sure.
words that they use, which is general, and anybody with any sort of eye for catching AI or that's used to this can detect it right away. I'm sure you go through your LinkedIn and you see posts and that's written by ChatGPT for sure. But if you
Yeah.
customize it and you sort of kind of integrate it with your brain in a way by giving things you've already written, and you give it specific instructions like, hey, analyze how I form my sentences,
Right.
analyze the words that I use, analyze how I describe things, and you can genuinely integrate ChatGPT with your brain to create a content machine. It's pretty much an extension of you at that point. So that's one of the cool ways to use it, I guess, for content marketing.
I agree, and I think in that same vein, we have a whole list of exclusion phases, right? Phrases, sorry, where do not ever say journey, do not say, in these changing business times, things like that.
Yeah, totally. There's actually there's so much resources on prompt engineering, which is it's becoming a huge thing.
Yeah.
Where you'll have like templates where you can copy and paste, and put it in your knowledge base and put it in your GPT and say, hey, if you can humanize it pretty quickly with that. There's a whole list of words not to use, and
Yep. Yeah.
give it to your AI agent. You just make sure that it knows to stay away from being so recognizable as an AI.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. This The prompt engineering, I think, is interesting, and I'm interested to see kind of how it develops over time, right? And how the AI, if the AI start to ask us more questions, to help us write better prompts, or if we're going to just have to keep thinking more clear when we're giving it directions. What do you think is going to be the outcome?
It's funny because there's some AI right now, and I saw one recently where it prompts itself based on a couple sentences that you give it.
Right.
Say, hey, I want to reach out to people in the, I don't know, in the concrete industry or the construction industry, and I want to sell this product. And you pretty much ask the AI, hey, make a prompt yourself. Give
Right.
yourself step-by-step instructions. A lot of it works. A lot of the times it works really well. Even if you go to ChatGPT and you say, hey, can you build a prompt for XYZ? You give it a couple sentences of the end goal that you want, and it'll actually do it well. And then you can tell it, okay, now based off your own prompt, do this.
Right.
If you tell ChatGPT, like, hey, I want you to build me a platform that, I don't know, build me a game that looks like, whatever it is, that looks like, what's a popular game these days? I don't know, Flappy Bird, let's say, old back throwback.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And it won't know what to do. If you ask it, what are the steps to build it, and then you tell it, okay, now follow these steps, you're going to get a lot further. So it'll be interesting to see how it evolves with how good AI can prompt itself. Right now, it's probably not to the level of humans because we just have better understanding of how to program things and how to give it the proper tasks. But it could get pretty good at it.
I think it can. I agree with these custom GPTs because you can give it enough inputs that it has the context that it needs to be able to output good data. And I think that's what distinguishes, say, the 17-year-old intern from a 50-year-old executive, right? Is that the executive has way more context about the nuance of the situation, of the humans involved, and the outcomes they're trying to produce. And that context is just such a critical part of prompt writing.
It is. It really, and that's really kind of the big differentiator that we have with AI. And a lot of the times, if you're not giving the AI context, you're going to be able, well, it might not do the job you want it to do, number one. But you're also going to be able to tell based on the copy that it writes, based on some of the things it does. And the more specific instructions you can give, the better it's going to perform always.
Sure.
Now, the level of instruction that we're going to have to give the AI agents and AI in general is probably going to diminish over time as it starts to understand more. And whether we develop AGI eventually is the $1 million question. I don't think we know how to build it yet, but maybe we can get there, and maybe you won't even need for any context to be provided. It will understand it right away because it will have very similar levels of reasoning to humans. But where we are right now, as you said, it needs context, and that's the only way to make it work.
Yeah. It takes, and I think that's why the custom GPTs are the way to go, because nobody wants to just sit down and do all those inputs all at one time, right?
Yeah.
It's too much work. Well, what are the tools that you're using for marketing your agency? What does that look like? Your marketing campaign?
Outbound marketing, inbound marketing.
Yeah, and then what agentified things are you doing?
So yeah, I mean, for the outbound marketing, and we run a lot on referrals and word of mouth. I think many agencies run that way. I think especially the ones like us that are pretty general. We take on very specific amount of projects that really fit our scope of work. We're not too broad into how we market. And there's a couple niches that we play with. SaaS is one of the big ones. But in terms of how we market, if we were to launch a marketing campaign, the first thing we do is launch an outbound strategy, clean a lot of data. Another thing that AI agents can do, by the way, they clean data really well. First party data, second party databases that you can purchase from all these data brokers that,
Yep.
data is worth more than oil these days. It's becoming a big thing, and it's going to continue to grow because the media companies are trying to get away from third party data. I don't know if they'll ever do that, but that's what they've been saying for the past decade.
They can't give up the income stream. Come on,
They
let's
can't
be
give up the income
serious.
stream, but they keep delaying it. If it's ever going to happen, we'll see. But
Yeah.
no matter what, everybody knows first party data, second party data is going to continue to grow. Cleaning that data is a big part. The first step, making sure you have the right people,
Yep.
and also delivering the right message or the right offer. Very, very important. It's a lot of people kind of fast track that when that should be probably spent the most time on. Once we have a clean data list, there's a couple ways we can do it. We can make AI agents on whether it's make.com or whether it's Clay or any one of these no-code platforms, or if you're sophisticated in development, you can go high tech and build out on Python. We give it very specific instructions, and we conduct outreach through. It depends. It could be instantly. A lot of these kind of email blast software. But everything's hyper personalized, and that's the only way to do it. It used to be back 3-4 years ago that you can spray and pray cold outreach strategy, where you just launch a message and you'll get some responses. Today, it's kind of non-existent. That went to the grave.
Yep.
Now you have to be very specific with everybody you reach out to and personable in a way. So that's the strategy that we use. We build a very specific offer to a very specific professional, down to the job title and industry, exactly how you want it.
Yep.
So it's as labeled as possible. Like the more labeling you can have, the better. Like, let me ask you a random question right now. What shoe brand are you wearing?
Let's see, Chaco. It's an
Chaco.
outdoor brand. Yeah.
Okay, outdoor brand. So if you see an ad today or you get an email, say, hey, by the way, if you wear Chaco shoes and you have a marketing podcast, this is for you. It's gonna intrigue you. It's gonna pique you're gonna be like, okay, this guy or this company's talking to me. They have something for me, because this is very specific. The more specific you can label right up front, the better. And then giving them an offer that is valuable, that provides value. A lot of the times you can do educational content, give them, something of value for free up front.
Sure. In
exchange for building sort of a relationship. Those are some of the things that we do, some of the things we do for our clients, some of the things that work well.
Yeah, I love it. I love, well, you're talking about what feels authentic, because you're talking to me specifically versus everybody in general. And then very strong fundamentals in terms of triggering a specific offer, and then letting me self-educate, and then bringing me into the marketing process in a very natural way. So it's a combination of this new shiny thing, which is an AI agent, doing a lot of the work to grab information about the recipient, and then strong fundamentals of marketing, which is identifying a learning situation and filling that need. So that's cool.
Yeah, and you're just combining this tech with the fundamentals.
Yeah,
that's really what it is. It used to be a lot of it was harder to do. You'd have these syntax sequences that maybe weren't so personable, because obviously, who has the time to go through big spreadsheets and write a very, very unique intro line based on where the person was traveling last week.
Yeah.
As specific as that. Nobody could really do that before these systems came in, these AI agents came in. And it's pretty much, the fundamentals are still the same. You still have to have an offer. You still have to, and these days more focused on the long term, lifetime value. You don't have to focus necessarily on getting the lead and the contract right away. Within B2B specifically, these are longer buying cycles, and they've been getting longer over the years. And if you're trying to go for the kill right away, you're gonna, if you pull the rod up too quickly, you're gonna lose the fish, and that's what we're seeing. Focus on the long term is can go a long way.
Yeah, I agree, and building that relationship, building the trust Well, what do you see coming up in the next few months? What's kind of on the bleeding edge for what you're doing in terms of agent work?
I think we're going to continue to develop them. There's a lot of new things coming up week over week in this space. I feel like you're scrolling through X and Twitter, and you're just seeing a lot of these new things you can do, new personalizations, new enrichments, new APIs that you can connect to, new ways of scraping data. So we'll see. Nobody has all the answers yet as to where this is going to go, where this is going to go for marketing, where this is going to go for the economy. It's still a fairly new thing, and it's growing exponentially because of the nature of the technology. But we just want to build upon it. We want to continue doing what we're doing. We want to continue building new tables. We want to continue staying ahead of the trends for us, for our clients.
Sure.
That's how you stay in business. That's how you get good results. And I'd like to think that's what we've been doing, because there's not a lot of companies that have hopped on some of these the agent trend yet, and it's going to come.
Yeah, this year there's such a giant marketing push, especially like you're talking about with these companies with giant valuations. They'll have giant marketing budgets to get underneath.
Oh yeah, they'll get out there for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, Mendel, let's see if people want to get together with you and have a conversation. How do they find you?
On X, Mendel Cohen __.
Thanks.
And website crafteddigital.com.
All right. Well, thanks again for taking time to have a conversation with me this morning, and I look forward to catching up with you again soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Mendel.
Thanks for listening to Marketing in the Age of AI. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Your copy of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI is available at Amazon.com or EmmanuelRose.com. You can also connect with Emmanuel on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.